Is social media killing your vibe? Is social media making you anxious?
I think that's something we've got to become aware of, isn't it? As it is the number one cause of anxiety today.
It is, and that's what we're going to be chatting about. So stay tuned for this week's episode of
Get Real with the English Sisters.
And we're going to give you 3 really easy ways of stopping you becoming anxious because of social media. And the first
Yes.
is...
What is the first? Because I don't know it. I can't remember
The
it.
first is there's nothing
no
to remember.
no,
The first is that it's not real.
Yeah, there's nothing to remember. The only thing that we have to remember is that
There's nothing
it's
to
fake.
remember. It's fake. It's
Yeah.
not a real life situation. It's just something that's being staged, and a lot of time they put filters on it, and a lot of time it's all...
Do you know what? You made a really good point there,
rubbish.
because I think in the past when we used to watch movies and films, we would kind of know they were movies and films, and we knew it was there. There was a stage.
Yeah.
You know, they'd be
They
like
were
in
far,
Hollywood.
It was far removed from our lives.
Yes, and so we did not expect that. I mean, we might, if we were watching a romantic comedy, we might come out feeling, oh, romantic, and you get the vibe. But you didn't actually expect to relive that exact situation.
Well, you didn't expect to have to look like the female or the male
You
lead.
would want to. You'd probably want to aspire.
You might be inspired to, but you wouldn't expect. You would think that was far removed from your reality.
That was, I don't know, that famous, actress or actor, and that was it. You didn't expect I have to look like that. No, that was a movie.
Or I have to behave like that. That's like it's like almost like a fairy tale. It's a Cinderella
Yes,
thing.
it was like that, wasn't it? You'd all, oh, lovely, beautiful, she's beautiful, he's beautiful. But that was kind of it. Then you'd get back into your real life and know that was on the movie screen.
Yeah.
But today...
And there was no expectations of you to look like that. I mean, you'd get photos taken of you with a little tiny camera, and you'd see them like 3 weeks later, and you think, oh, that's okay. And you put it in an album, but you wouldn't have to show it to the whole world.
And it wasn't all the time photos.
No, it wasn't all the time.
It was rarely you'd get a picture taken, and so life was different. But nowadays we actually have... cameras on us all the time. And so...
There's so much pressure.
There is. There's a lot of pressure going around when you always think you have to look great, camera ready, as to say. The food you eat has to be camera ready. Everything has to be staged.
Your home.
Yes, your home. Come on. What about, the dirty socks in the corner there? That's everyday life. For most people, it's not perfect. Come on. We've got to realize that it's fake.
Yeah,
we have to realize that these are, they're normal people like us, but they've got profiles, and these profiles are staged and curated a lot of the time, especially if they're very popular.
Yes.
And even if they're not very popular, if you are following somebody that's perhaps your own age, maybe they put a lot of filters on that.
Yeah.
Make sure.
And they make a big effort to have all the lights and the...
It is becoming something that people are becoming aware of.
Yeah,
and
I think there's a part of everybody that knows it's not real, but yet you still aspire, you still want it.
Yes.
You still think it is real. There's a part of your brain that's like tricked into thinking it's real. That's what's so toxic and dangerous.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, that is the toxic part of it.
And how many hours do we spend looking at those images and on the phones?
Yes, they're conditioning our brains to think that is what my home should look like. That's what my garden, if you've got a home and a garden, if you're, that's what I should look like.
Yeah.
Which can become very, very dangerous if you start thinking, I want to look like that person there, like look at her, she's so thin, or she's got this hair and whatever it is,
She hasn't got any wrinkles or anything.
That can become extremely dangerous, because you're comparing yourself to somebody else, and you're comparing yourself to something that is not real. So how could you ever you can't. No. You can't compare to that, can you? That's why it's so dangerous.
Yeah, and then I think also, so how do we stop this happening? We'll stop spending so much time on your phone. That's the first thing, and then start being a curator yourself. So curate your feed. Don't follow people that are showing the perfection in the way, follow if you want to follow someone, follow a more normal person that's going to be, show themselves,
going to inspire you.
That's going to inspire you and show themselves as they really are.
And I think more and more people are appreciating that today.
Yeah, they are. That's a good. That's
something good
that's coming from it.
That we're becoming more aware.
We're becoming more, I think, more fed up and more like we're realizing how anxious we're actually becoming, and we're starting to fight back on that.
Thank goodness, and we've got to become more and more aware of this.
But I think we have to be so careful because there's so much stuff out there as well that's just it's also not true. It's fake and it's not true. There's so many influencers that are going around spreading like all this false information, making you think that that's how it really is, and it's not like that.
No, and it's
very dangerous.
It's dangerous, and it's quite, if you think you're growing up with this kind of, feed that's going into your brain, it can be quite, it's tough, and it causes anxiety because you're never really going to look like that, or you will be like that, or have that house,
and you have no control over looking like that either. There's no way in hell you're going to be able to look like that.
Exactly,
because it's not you for a start. You're a different person.
So why would you want to look like that in the first place? So that's a real question, and to become obsessed with that can become, pretty something we've got to become aware of, I think. If it's happening to us or if it's happening to the people that we love around us, like if you're a parent, you've definitely got to become aware of this. You probably already know it, but it's even more subtle sometimes, and you think, no, my kids aren't affected by that at all, but it's almost impossible not to be affected by it.
It is. Yeah.
It is, but it's something that we've got to become aware of.
So we have to really keep telling ourselves that it's not real, and that it's fake, and that it's even though it looks so real, because it just like, they're probably the same age as we are, and we're following people at the same age, they've got the same, like they've gone through the same studies we have maybe, and then look where they are. They're so far ahead. They've got all this money, or they've got all these beautiful things, and I haven't got it. Why haven't I got it? And then you start so don't compare. I mean, that's the third thing. Do not compare yourself. It's harder, it's harder said than done, isn't it? Because it's like what you said. It appears to be so real and so subtle.
Yeah,
but we have to really think of it as like when you stop drinking. I have to stop doing this.
Yeah, I think like almost like an addiction. You're saying
it's like I have to stop. I have to limit myself. I'm going to curate my feed. I'm going to turn off notifications. I'm going to make a real effort.
Leave those people that make you feel bad.
When you watch a reel, or you read a story or whatever, you look through a story and you find that it's actually making you feel anxious, and making you feel like, I really want this thing. Just say, okay, this is someone that I'm not going to follow anymore.
Exactly.
And just say goodbye to that.
You can
person.
Sort of tune in to the emotions that they're bringing up. Are they making you smile? Are they making you feel good about yourself as well? Relaxed? Is it inspiring to you, but in a good way?
Yeah.
Thinking, oh yeah, that was a great idea. Actually, I could try, that, or baking that, or making that, or something that's inspiring to you. Is this generally giving you something, or is it creepily taking away, cutting out bits of your own self-esteem day by day without you realizing it? That's a creepy part. That's where it becomes so subtle. It sets in, and starts taking away until you do what it wants you to do, which is to buy, to purchase, to become a victim of, consuming whatever that feed really wants you to do, which is to spend money in it. Come on, ultimately, even a lot of these influencers, they are sponsoring things.
Yeah.
And so
some of them aren't, and they just, they maybe get their money from something else, and they're not. It
might not be their
else. That might not be their intention. So you might think, oh, but they're not. The person I'm following isn't doing that. But you have to think, but how is that person making me feel? Like what Yuka said, are they making me feel good after I watch them, or do I feel a lack? And do I feel bad about something?
And am I? Yes, that's right. Am I in a place of abundance? Like I feel, or do I feel like lacking?
Yeah.
There is something lacking. When you're in that state of lacking, it's really difficult for you to see the abundance that's already around you. It becomes so difficult because your mind is concentrated. It's like what you give your mind is what your mind will focus on.
Well, so it's like what you eat. Well, it reflects in how you feel, doesn't
exactly. So if you're always in I don't have that, and I don't have that, and I wish I had that, and I wish I was there, and you're in this place of, lacking, you lack everything, then you'll just look for more things that you lack in. You don't have that partner that gives you roses on St. Valentine's Day, and you lack it.
What social media does as well, the anxiety it causes, it makes you feel as if you're alone, that you're not connected to other people.
Isolation. And that's another cause of anxiety today.
Exactly.
Yes, you become more and more isolated
because you stop doing things because you think, what I'm doing isn't good enough, so I'm not going to bother. I'm not even going to go and do things, go out or do anything.
I've got nobody to go with.
Point.
Yeah, who am I going to go out with? Yeah. I haven't got a whole gang here to start taking pictures. Having the perfect shot and at the perfect club and doing all of this. No, what am I doing? I'm just at home and, going to invite a few friends around. That's boring. Everything just appears to be like boring compared to other feeds, which is so
difficult. Like if you want to organise a birthday party and you haven't got millions of balloons or a massive cake.
Yeah,
what's the point? I mean, you've just had your birthday. Yeah. We had it at home here with just a family.
Yeah, just ordered
family.
Some
we
cheap
got some pizza.
Yeah.
I made the cake, which luckily was very delicious, and it turned out really well. But if it hadn't, who cares?
We would have still eaten it, even if it had been hard.
There's many a past birthday cake that has come out as hard as a rock.
I can say like 90%. We just dip them in the tea. Yeah, and that's fine. And the photo.
We have a big laugh about it.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Why? Because it's real. Because you're surrounded with real people, real emotions, people that love you.
Exactly.
And they're real. And if you don't have that, you find it. You can find all the real people around you. But the more isolated you become, then it becomes harder. So you've got to become aware of it. It doesn't matter.
And there are so many. If you do feel isolation, you feel as if you haven't got any friends, or you haven't, start looking for things to do. There's so many places that have games nights, or you can join a community of something, or there's so many things. There's walks for lonely people. Walks
for lonely people?
If you look at I'm lonely and I want to go and do something, you'll say, what can I do if I'm lonely? You can look that up. You can use social media for your own
advantage,
for your own advantage,
for your benefit, for you to actually get something from it. Because when I go through my feed, I'm always inspired.
Yeah, mine as well.
It puts a smile on my face. I'm inspired. There's usually somebody, either they're doing like some kind of exercise because I want to become more flexible. And like lately I've been suffering from sciatica pain. So normally I wrote that down and I get all these lovely exercises, make yourself more flexible, or healthy eating.
Yeah.
And so I get ideas on how to cook things which are really, really easy and, something easy for me to make.
Well, yeah.
And I'm inspired by that.
Yesterday I was inspired by, you told me about something you'd seen on Instagram.
It was how to make those little cakes.
Those cakes that you made with carrots and egg.
She just grated that they were like high protein. Like literally, I found she was the girl on Instagram was grating the carrots, and she put some cottage cheese or some kind of cheese in it, and 2 eggs, and then she's like rolled it all out. She didn't even roll it; she just put it with a spoon on some greaseproof paper, and she put them in the oven. So I did my own version. I opened the fridge and I saw I had lots of carrots. Some of them were going a bit bad, so I peeled them, grated them, put 2 eggs. put some soft cheese that I had in it, and then I just lumped them on this grease-proof, paper and put them in the oven, put some Parmigiano on the top. And actually they came out really nice. So that was inspiring and something healthy for me to eat.
Parmesan, for those who speak English.
Oh, Parmesan. I said it in Italian, okay. Some Parmesan cheese. Because that's what I had in the fridge. If I didn't have that, I would have just been flexible and got any old piece of cheese I had.
Well, I was inspired by what you told me. And yesterday for lunch, when I was on my own, I just had an old salad that was going. It wasn't bad, but it was like past its best. Yeah. So it was all in it. I just lumped it in a frying pan with a tiny bit of olive oil. Yeah, salad. And then I added 2 eggs to it. And that's what I had for lunch, and a little bit of cheese, like what you said, Parmesan on top.
You put some,
so it turned up like a bit of it was like a bit of a stir fry. Yeah, it was like a mixed salad.
Exactly. So there you go.
And then I ate that.
But that was inspiring to you, so it's
that was inspired by you. It was the second-hand inspiration from your Instagram feed.
Yeah.
So what I mean is that Instagram can be inspiring to you, but look, make
TikTok,
sure you know
things that make you feel good,
how you feel after watching.
When you put your phone down, you got to have moments with no phone as well.
Yeah, and just go and
be conscious of that.
And get inspired on your own.
Well,
just go and do more than
scroll. More than scroll, yeah. You have to do more than scroll. That's it. Because this constant scrolling can keep you so busy that your days pass by and you think, what have I done?
Yeah.
A lot of the time, how have I spent my free time when I'm not working or studying or doing something else? How have I spent my free time?
Yeah. This podcast is about mind health and anxiety. So go and do something good for your mind, something that's healthy and something that's going to help you feel anxiety free.
Yes.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, whatever that is, exactly.
So have a little think about it and let us know. And please do share with your friends and family so that you can help us grow. And what were you going to say, Yuka?
What was I going to say? Are you putting me on the spot now?
Well,
I don't know.
You said you wanted to ask them to write to us. Didn't you?
Oh, yes, that's right. If you do have any questions or anything you want us to talk about, definitely write to us, leave us a comment, and we'd love to, get inspired by you, by your needs as well.
Exactly.
And we hopefully will be able to give you some good ideas and some advice maybe from our lives that we've lived. And,
And lives well trodden.
Yeah, exactly.
From lives well trodden.
Yeah.
Lots of love.
From lives well trodden. Well said. Indeed.
Let's go and tread some more. Lots of love and smiles from
the English sisters.
Bye-bye.